This is George Boston Rhymes, kvci.blogspot.com. I'm in Quitman, Georgia. We are about to make a right over the Brooks County a bridge. This is an overpass that built to get over the train here. And we do remember when there was no bridge here. And when I was a little kid, this bridge seemed to be so high, and people would just walk over this bridge from school, Washington Street High School, and from Booker T Elementary School that we are heading for. The bridge looked so high back in that day and time. And we would look at Bethel Church here. We say that was for the rich black folk. Most of the teachers went there. And y'all excuse me, but I'm trying to describe it the way it is. I don't mean to be ugly or nothing, but that's the way it was. And of course, on both sides of the streets here, blacks lived all in this area here. And of course, that area right there, I think it was Seventh-day Adventist Church right down there. And still, well, it used to be, it's not anymore. Once again, this is Shoemate Street, Church of Christ to my left here. That wasn't a church then, but this out here used to be the elementary school. Booker T Washington School was out there. An all-black school. That's where all black children went to school there. It was called Booker T Washington. That's all throughout, all the way over town, from the other side of town. All the black kids came here. People talk about busing and things of that nature. But people bused back then. A lot of blacks went right past the white school to come to the black school, but nobody said anything about busing or waste of funds in order to carry on the segregational movement of this country. And that's the way it was. And of course, any day during the week, you find black kids just traveling, walking to school, coming out here to get an education. And of course, all the educator was, of course, black. And later they built that gym that you're looking at over here. They built the gym over there. That school is torn down now, by the way. Booker T Washington. Mr. Rutherford was the principal of the elementary school. And when they built the Washington Street High School, which is no longer there, they tore it down. It was right in that area there. And from all over the county of Brooks, people came to Washington Street High School, Marvin, Barney, everywhere to get an education. And of course, we had some of the best educators. Those educators really cared about the children, and they made us, for instance, chewing gum, all of those things that would not be appropriate in school. Once we graduated and in the real world, then they didn't want us to carry on those negative things. And so the teachers made sure that we were first class disciplined. They made sure that we received the best education. We got handed down books that white folks had used, but when we look back, including myself, I wasn't the top notch in school, but I was in the top 10, 15% somewhere in the neighborhood. But anyway, but the point is that we got an education that had to compete with the best of the white kids and black kids from around the world. And I think we did quite well. Of course, some people, this area here is mostly for the teachers, mostly live back in here, and mostly still does, and I used to feel proud when I was in school, because a lot of people from the country lived in old rundown houses, etc. Miss Folsom, my science teacher, I think it was science teacher, lived there. And of course, Mr. Frank Thomas, who's on the Board of Education, lived over there. And just Mr. Glenn, all these cats out here, not cats, but these beautiful human beings had a great in-depth love for the students that they taught. And I was extremely proud once I graduated. I thought I had gotten an inferior education because it was an all-black school. We had black educators, and I thought they always say we was dumb, and the teachers was dumb, the kids were dumb, and all of that. And then we know we got hand-me-down books, but when I got in the military and had to compete with white folks, I found out that we had received the best education, I think, as anybody. And when we made tested for ranks, we held our own, coming from all black schools at that time. And we didn't have no positive images. We had a white Jesus in most cases hanging in our churches. We had white school superintendents. We had everything was white. White businesses, white owners of the plantation where we worked, and that's just the way it was. White, white, white. And so what can you have but an inferiority complex? But eventually, as I began to study the history and the greatness of the black race of people, including King Khufu, Imhotep, people who made great strides, as black people, then I began to feel real good about who I was. And of course, that lingers with this man until this day. And this is George Boston Rhymes, kvci.blogspot.com. That's Stephen's funeral home, and they like to have a funeral, so we're just going to park over here, and then I'm going to do what I do, and bye-bye we go.